Vin Diesel hardly needs an introduction anymore. He's become something of an iconic figure in modern Hollywood, a recognizable face who's been present on the big screen for over 3 decades. Ever since his early appearances in acclaimed films like Saving Private Ryan, Boiler Room, and of course the beloved Fast and Furious franchise, Diesel has steadily built his reputation. His portrayal of Dominic Toretto became one of the most recognizable action roles in the world. Not just a character, but a symbol of family, loyalty, and muscle cars. Diesel was, for many, the face of Fast and Furious. On the other side, we have Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, a name older audiences might initially associate with the world of professional wrestling. In the WWE, The Rock was more than just a performer, he was a superstar. Charismatic, strong, and larger than life, he had the kind of presence that couldn't be ignored. In 2001, The Rock made a surprising decision that shocked fans of wrestling and cinema alike. He decided to leave wrestling behind and pursue acting full-time. It was seen as a risky move. Wrestling stars rarely found long-term success in Hollywood, but Dwayne believed in himself and took his charisma from the ring to the big screen. While his early film career had a rocky start, eventually he managed to become one of the most bankable stars in the industry. By the mid-2000s teens, almost every movie he touched turned into box office gold. His momentum reached new heights when he joined the Fast and Furious franchise. What began as an exciting addition to the series quickly spiraled into one of the most public and bitter feuds in modern Hollywood. A feud that The Rock would come to regret, a feud that may have changed the trajectory of his entire career. It all began on August 8, 2016. The Rock posted a bombshell on Instagram. He wrote that no other film he had worked on had ever frustrated him as much as Fast and Furious 8. In the post, he praised the female cast, calling them amazing and professional. But when it came to the men, his tone was drastically different. He accused some of his male co-stars of being unprofessional cowards who lacked the guts to speak up. He hinted that when fans watched the movie the following April, they might notice he appeared angry in some scenes or was missing from others, and that it wasn't an accident. Fans immediately started speculating. Who was he talking about? The finger was quickly pointed at Vin Diesel, the franchise's leading man and, importantly, one of its producers. Reports started emerging that Diesel and Johnson clashed frequently on set, and not just over acting choices. According to insiders who spoke to TMZ and other media outlets, the tension on set was severe. Arguments between the two actors were frequent, and at times physical confrontations almost occurred. Much of the conflict stemmed from the fact that Diesel, as a producer, had creative control over the film, which didn't sit well with The Rock. Johnson reportedly disliked the way his character, Luke Hobbs, was being handled. At the same time, Vin was allegedly frustrated with The Rock's lack of professionalism, showing up late, delaying shoots, or sometimes skipping set entirely without warning. Multiple sources began coming forward. Some claimed Diesel was difficult and egotistical. Others defended him, saying he was only trying to protect the integrity of the franchise. In the public eye, the feud was already spiraling out of control. For nearly a year, the feud went silent. Neither Diesel nor Johnson spoke about the incident publicly. But when Fast and Furious 8 hit theaters in April 2017, fans noticed something strange. The two stars barely shared any scenes. In fact, it was later confirmed that they didn't film any scenes together. The only scene where they appeared side by side was stitched together through editing. In a later interview with Rolling Stone, The Rock confirmed this. He revealed that a serious face-to-face altercation had taken place between him and Vin Diesel inside Diesel's trailer. The relationship was, without a doubt, severely strained. Eventually, Diesel broke his silence. Speaking both as a producer and as a participant in the feud, he offered a carefully worded response. He claimed that some things were exaggerated and that he appreciated Johnson's work. He added, "In my house, he'll always be Uncle Dwayne." But behind the seemingly friendly tone were subtle jabs. Diesel declared that, as the producer of the franchise, he had to protect it, including protecting Johnson, even if The Rock didn't realize it. He called himself Johnson's big brother in the film world and made it clear that he considered himself the first multicultural superstar in Hollywood, proud to see another following in his footsteps. To many, this came across as patronizing, and The Rock certainly didn't take it lightly. Shortly after, Johnson announced his departure from the main Fast and Furious series, citing creative differences and his strained relationship with Diesel. While Johnson exited the main series, he still had one project under contract, the spin-off film Hobbs & Shaw, co-starring Jason Statham. The film was a financial success, further boosting Johnson's confidence. For a while, things remained quiet. Neither actor commented publicly on the situation for over a year. Then came the promotion of Fast and Furious 9. Diesel, in an interview, claimed that he had to give Johnson a lot of tough love on set to help him improve. He suggested that Hobbs only succeeded because of Diesel's hard work and dedication to the character. This statement infuriated The Rock. In an interview with Vanity Fair, he mocked Diesel's comments, calling them bullshit. He said, "Unlike him, I didn't come from the world of theater. I got here differently, and I was raised differently too. I give everything to every project I work on. So when I read that, just like everyone else, I laughed. We all did. I'm sure even Fellini would laugh." Despite everything, Diesel continued to push for Johnson's return to the franchise. In late 2021, he posted a photo on Instagram addressing Dwayne directly. He called him "my little brother" and claimed that the world was waiting for Hobbs to return in Fast 10. He referenced his children, who apparently called Johnson Uncle Dwayne, and even mentioned the late Paul Walker, implying that The Rock had made a promise to him to finish the franchise strong. Johnson was furious. In an interview with CNN, he revealed that just a few months prior, he had told Diesel privately that he would not return. He felt that bringing Paul Walker's memory and Diesel's children into the public appeal was manipulative and inappropriate. He stood firm in his decision to leave the franchise, and fans largely sided with him. But Diesel wasn't wrong about one thing: Johnson's career was about to hit turbulence. After 2021, Johnson's box office success began to wane. Films like Jungle Cruise and Black Adam underperformed, and not just slightly. Black Adam was promoted as a game changer for the DC Universe, but ultimately it lost over $200 million and was panned by critics and audiences alike. Suddenly, Johnson was being mocked for his ego. Rumors spread that he demanded creative control over all his projects, that he couldn't lose a fight on screen, never died, and every film needed a happy ending. This predictability, critics said, was ruining his movies. Audiences were bored. He was even compared to Steven Seagal, another action star whose ego eventually eclipsed his talent. Meanwhile, Diesel was still making fast films, and though the franchise had its critics, it remained profitable and popular. Social media began turning on Johnson. Old clips resurfaced, including one where he claimed he had never eaten an In-N-Out burger, despite photographic evidence to the contrary. He exaggerated calorie intake, boasted about fake profits, and came across increasingly inauthentic. While Diesel was keeping a relatively low profile and protecting the franchise, Johnson was popping up in one ad campaign after another. It began to look like he was accepting every endorsement offered to him just to stay relevant. YouTubers, TikTokers, and film analysts began openly criticizing The Rock, and these videos were getting millions of views. His PR image was falling apart. That's when something unexpected happened. In mid-2023, The Rock posted a reel on Instagram, "Hobbs is back." Yes, after all the public arguments, private conversations, and harsh interviews, The Rock was returning to the Fast and Furious franchise. To many fans, this post wasn't just an announcement, it was a confession. By returning, The Rock effectively admitted that Diesel had been right all along, that he needed Fast and Furious more than the franchise needed him. After years of saying he'd never come back, after calling Diesel manipulative and their relationship irreparable, Johnson showed up on set. Vin Diesel had won. What started as a professional disagreement turned into a years-long war of egos. One man, Diesel, quietly continued his role as the franchise's anchor, while the other, Johnson, tried to forge a solo path, only to stumble along the way. The truth is, Johnson's return wasn't just about a role, it was about survival. In a world where box office failures can end careers, The Rock needed a hit, and Fast and Furious 10 was his best bet. This saga reminds us of a brutal truth in Hollywood. Popularity can fade, egos can clash, but franchises, especially billion-dollar ones, always find a way to outlive the stars who built them. And in this story, it seems clear. Vin Diesel didn't just survive the feud, he came out on top, and may have ended The Rock's reign in the process.